Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 25th January 2026. Actually, I will not take analysis of Sunday, but today I am taking because tomorrow is Republic Day and I am in Delhi. I don't know whether tomorrow is it possible to take Hindu analysis or not. So I don't want to stop. If I stop today means if there is no chance of taking this Hindu tomorrow means I have to take break for 2 days. I don't want to do that. So whatever the articles which are there in our Sunday's newspaper which are relevant, I will tell today. And I will try 101% tomorrow to record the video. But I don't know because there are tight security is there in this Delhi. So I don't know whether I can travel in this area or not. Okay, that is the main reason. That is why I'm taking today's analysis. I hope you will understand, guys. Okay, now let us see the important topics of the day. And most of the topics are repeated topics. And I searched a lot to take this analysis today, guys, in our newspaper. Okay, let us see the first topic. It says US official hints at removing Russian oil penalty levy on India. This article is talking about Russian oil penalty on India. As you all know that US came up with this Russian Sanction Act and it started imposing tariffs on the countries which are importing oil and as well as natural gas from this Russia. And this article is an update regarding penalty of buying Russian oil on India. And this topic is important from GS paper to under international relations. And next topic is 22.8% of population in Kerala, 15.8% in Tamil Nadu to be above 60 years by 2036, says RBI report. This article is talking about old age population in Indian states. And this concept is also called as demographic winter. And this is one of the interview questions that I asked yesterday itself to one of the candidate. Okay, now let us see the next article. Title says, can India eliminate malaria by 2030? This article is talking about malaria elimination. Already in our last class also we discussed about the similar topic and we are going to see in deep today. And this next topic is what lies behind Trump's Greenland moves. Many a times we discussed about this topic regarding acquiring of Greenland by Donald Trump. So here again there is one article, but in this article we are focusing on why US wants to acquire this Greenland. What are the reasons behind it? And next topic is seismometers can sense falling orbital debris. Here you have to know about what are the seismometers, and this topic is important from geography and as well as science and technology point of view. And next topic is water intensive. This article is talking about rice. Already UPSC asked many a times question regarding this water intensive crops in India. And here you have to see why rice need more amount of water than other crops. And next topic is a natural heater hidden in India's sacred lotus flowers. There is one study says that yes, lotus can also generate heat even though it is a plant. So you may get a question regarding this lotus because if there is any studies in news regarding any species UPSC has a tendency to ask question regarding that. So you have to see about this. And these are the topics of the day, and normally Sunday's articles will not provide much analysis, but they will give directly the facts. So the length of this video can be reduced around 20 to 25 minutes, guys. After that, don't blame me. Okay. Now let us see the first article. Title says US official hints at removing Russian oil penalty levy on India. This article is saying that there is a hint that we are getting from US itself, and this hint is US can remove sanctions on India related to this purchase of Russian oil. That is about this topic. Okay. To understand this, let us see something in brief. And if there are new students who are watching this video for the first time, they will be getting some insights. Okay, as you all know that India is not having good oil reserves. India is lacking in this oil reserves, right? So because of this, if India wants to promote energy security, that means if India wants to provide diesel, petrol, whatever that is required, especially for transportation purpose, we have to go for importing from other countries. So if you are going for importing from other countries, which are the countries from which we are importing? If you see the geography of India, it is located in Asia, right? And it is sharing boundary with this Indian Ocean region. So first of all, we'll see the countries through which we can get this crude oil through this route, water route. Okay, that means first option for India is West Asia. And this West Asian countries are good in oil reserves. And next one here is, yes, we are importing huge amounts of crude oil. If you are buying at a very high price, it is not feasible for our economy of India. So here we always go and purchase the oil where we are getting for the less price. Which country is giving oil at a discounted price for India? Russia. And not only that, if you want to maintain good relations with other countries, we have to do the trade. In that case, we are getting oil from even US. And which is the world's largest reserve country of crude oil? That is Venezuela. But problem with this Venezuela is this crude oil contains more sulfur dioxide. Sulfur related compounds are more. And if you are importing from this Venezuela, again we have to focus on this desulfurification. And whatever the oil refineries which are present in India, they don't have this technology of desulfurification. That will lead to the costly process of fractional distillation. That is the reason we are importing less than 0.3% of oil reserves from this Venezuela. Okay, and here you have to see like from which countries we are importing crude oil. You have to make a list of it. On this for sure 100, not even 100, 101% you will get questioned regarding these countries from which we are importing the oil. Okay, so this is some brief background. So here if you see from Russia, we are importing around 38 to 40% of our oil. And actually, you know that Russia is in war with Ukraine and it completed even 3 years. But still today also they are on this war. Okay, so here as you all know that in US, Trump 2.0 era started. So after this Trump 2.0 era started, Trump wants to show his brother attitude and he wants to resolve issues across the world. In that case, here he wants to stop this Russia-Ukraine war and he wants to mediate this Russia-Ukraine war. So actually what he is doing is he wants to hit economy of Russia so that Russia can stop this war. Okay, so to hit this Russia's economy, so majorly this is fueled by oil exports and as well as natural gas exports. So what US did is US came up with this Russian Sanction Act of 2025 and it said that the countries which are importing crude oil and as well as energy from this US, from now onwards we are going to impose up to 500% of tariffs on the countries. As part of that, US started imposing 25% of tariffs on Indian goods. And earlier 25%, totally it is 50% now. So here this article is giving hints that yes, India is purchasing oil from this Russia. And on Indian goods, we are imposing tariffs. And now here US Treasury Secretary signaled that there is a potential removal of additional 25% of tariffs on India. And they are saying that yes, India significantly decreased imports from Russia. So because of that, we are going to reduce. But recent reports said that yes, in the month of November and December, the imports of this Russian oil had been peaked up. Okay, so that is the one thing that you have to remember. So there is a hint that yes, US is going to reduce tariffs on Indian goods. Okay, now we have to see because of this decrease of tariffs, how it is going to impact India. First one here is we can increase our exports to US and even we can have trade surplus with US. And this one is we can maintain good relations with US. So like that we have lots of political impacts as well. Okay, so all these are the points that you have to remember from this article point of view, guys. Okay, now let us see in detail what is given in this article. So US imposed around 25% of tariff penalty on India, specifically linked to its purchase of Russian oil. And now here, yes, there is a hint from US that US is going to remove this 25% of tariffs. But till today, there is no official declaration, but we are getting just hint. Okay, now let us see some important things here. What are the potential impacts? First one here is our goods will become competitive in US markets, and even we can increase our exports. And next one here is it can also improve bilateral relations between India and US. And next one here is related to Russia. There may be decreased oil imports of India from Russia. Okay, so that globally also there will be some turmoil related to this oil prices. Okay, now let us see the next article. So this is the question that I asked in mock interview yesterday to one student. Okay, so that student is from Kerala, and my question was Kerala is entering into this demographic winter. So what is the concept of demographic winter? That is nothing but whenever there is youth population is decreasing and old age population is increasing, that concept is called as demographic winter. And I linked this demographic winter with the healthcare because the student is from Kerala and he has a medical background, and he is working as a doctor in Delhi. So I have to connect all these things. The question of mine was, yes, you're from Kerala. Kerala is famous for literacy, and I asked a question related to this demographic winter, and I connected this demographic winter with this because there is increased old age population is happening in this Kerala. And Kerala is a state which is known for exporting of their nurses and doctors. And if nurses and doctors are coming out of Kerala, who can provide this geriatric care? There is less availability of nurses and healthcare professionals in Kerala. How state is going to address this problem? This was my question. So in that way, whenever you are getting this kind of articles, from prelims point of view, you have to understand the facts. What is demographic winter? What is TFR? And from the mains point of view, you have to say what are the reasons behind it. And from interview point of view, they will give you analytical based questions. They will not give directly the facts. So in this way, in prelims, mains and interview, UPSC will check different qualities in you. And based on the exam or the level that you are preparing, so you have to prepare accordingly, guys. Okay? Yes, now let us see this article. See the title clearly. It says 28% of population Kerala, 15.8% of population Tamil Nadu to be above 60 years by 2036, says RBI report. Very, very important. So here you have to see why old age population is increasing in the southern states. And even one more question I asked to one more student, that is about TFR. There is decreasing of TFR in southern states compared to that of northern states. Then what happens? You know about this delimitation concept. Delimitation is nothing but drawing of the boundaries of a constituency based on population. In south, the population is going to become stagnant, or in future it may decrease. And how it may have impact on this delimitation process in future. So like that, don't stick only in one way. Try to connect in the different ways. Always your thinking should be in a broad manner, not in a narrow manner. So if you're thinking in the narrow manner, you're not fit for UPSC. Try to change your approach, guys. Be broad-minded. Okay, now let us see this article. RBI itself, that is Reserve Bank of India itself, came up with a report, and the report name is State Finances, a Study of Budgets report for 2025 to 2026. And in this report, it includes a chapter of demographic transition, and it says about implications for state finances. And this report, which is mainly highlighting about rapid population aging in southern states due to falling of fertility rates. There is decreasing of fertility rate. Even in 2024, if you see this PYQ of UPSC prelims, there was a question regarding this TFR. Recently, TFR is in news, what it is. And they gave A, B, C, D options. In that way also, UPSC can test the basic knowledge, whether you know that or not. Okay. So here, this article is saying that so and so percentage of population is increasing during this time period. Okay, here you have to see what are the major reasons. The first important reason here is TFR is decreasing, and next one here is there is increasing of life expectancy in these areas. What is happening if you compare with the north and south? South is more developed compared to the of north, and south is good in different indicators like health, sanitation, whatnot. So because of this, there is increasing of development at a very faster rate and advancements in this healthcare in the south. Because of this, the life expectancy of people is also increasing in the south. That is also one important reason. And next important thing here is, if old age people are increasing, then what happened? Retirement people will be increases and work age population will be decreased. That is a one important problem this south states will going to face in future. Okay, that is the thing, guys, nothing more than that. And you have to think about analytical things. And next topic is age under treatment for jaundice. Bore well found contaminated in mouth. So here this article is talking about the contamination of drinking water. Even in yesterday's class also we discussed that, and around 15 to 20 days before also we discussed that. And if you can see a candidate now who are from this MP, most of the questions will be there on this contamination of water. And even I asked many questions related to this contaminated of water for the students who came from this MP. Okay, now here if you see this article is talking about contamination of water, and in yesterday's class I clearly said which pollutants causes which diseases and why pollution is happening in this MP region, Narmada pipeline, everything I discussed, right? So here what is the keyword that you can see which is new to you? That is jaundice. You may get a question related to this jaundice. Let us see what is this jaundice. On this you may get a prelims based question as well, because from science and technology there is a very high chance of giving questions related to this NCDs and as well as communicable diseases, right? So now let us see this jaundice. Jaundice is not at all a disease, but it is a symptom or a sign of underlying issue. What happens in this jaundice is there will be increasing of bilirubin concentration in your blood. So because of this, what happen? Your skin, your eyes and your urine will be appearing dark yellow in color. Okay, and here why this happens here is because of increasing of bilirubin content, because of this bile duct. Okay, if you see the categories of this jaundice, we have pre-hepatic, we have hepatic, and we have post-hepatic. And other serious conditions can also cause this jaundice. They are viral hepatitis, alcohol-related liver damage, gallbladder stones, or any some medication sometimes, and herbal supplements can also cause this kind of damage. And even cancer can also cause this jaundice. Okay, now let us see the next article. Title says, can India eliminate malaria by 2030? In yesterday's class also we discussed about malaria, and I said about facts related to this malaria. And now let us see about target of India. India's target is to completely eliminate malaria by 2030. And we have one intermittent goal also. We have to have 0 cases recorded related to this malaria by 2027. That is, by the next year we have to find 0 cases. But whether we are going to achieve this or not, the detailed analysis is given in this article. Now let us see that. Here the target of India is malaria elimination. For that, our government of India came up with this national framework for malaria elimination 2016 to 2030. And they also came up with one intermittent or intermediate goal is to record 0 cases by 2027 in India. And if you see here the data related to this elimination of malaria in India, from this mid 2025 onwards, around 160 districts in 23 states and union territories, they says that they reported 0 cases from 2020 to 2024. That means, yes, we are progressing towards this thing. We are going to achieve, we are getting a small hope that yes, India can achieve this target of elimination of malaria by 2030. And if you see the details here, malaria cases in India have been drastically declined about 80%. 80% of drastic reduction of malaria happened in India. And next one here is one more important point here. Because of this robust surveillance and as well as intervention, that led to 0 indigenous cases in numerous districts. So it is going to support our plan for malaria elimination. But this article is saying that there are certain challenges we have to face so that we can achieve this target of elimination of malaria by 2030. So what are the challenges? First one is migration of people is happening from one area to another area. Because of this, what is happening? Sometimes there may be a chance of reintroduction of low transmission areas. And this one here is in urbanization process. We are going for rapid urbanization. There is no planning properly. So because of this, there is rising of slums. The slums will become the breeding grounds for this mosquitoes. That is the one important challenge. And next one here is Plasmodium vivax. In yesterday's class, I said that malaria is caused by 4 types of Plasmodium: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium falciparum. So out of this 4, Plasmodium vivax is responsible for 2/3 of the cases. But till today we have vaccine for this Plasmodium falciparum, not for the Plasmodium vivax. That is also one important thing. And even this Plasmodium vivax is also showing anti-malarial resistance. What are the drugs that we are using, like chloroquine, etc.? For that, they are showing anti-malarial resistance. That is also one important problem. And next one here is, that cross-border movements, international movements are happening. Apart from this, India, we can see malaria hugely in these African countries. And India is famous for medical tourism. Because of that also, if Africans are coming to India, they can also transfer this kind of diseases. That is also one important issue now. So here this article is also suggesting certain strategies and initiatives that can come up by our government of India so that we can eliminate this malaria. What are those strategies? First one is we need to have proper testing, treating and tracking of access to diagnosis and treatment. And we have to enhance vector control. This malaria is a vector-borne disease. It is mainly caused by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. We have to control this vector and we need to have intense surveillance in different areas. And next one here is, normally if you see the life cycle of this mosquito, we have egg, we have larva, we have pupa, and as well as we have adult. Especially this larva is seen in stagnant water areas. We have to control this larva for sure. So for controlling of larva, we can take simple measures like we have to keep our surroundings clean, and especially households have to ensure that there is no stored water nearby. And this one is, if they have to store the water, they have to use certain things, insecticides, so that they will not allow this larva to grow. Or else we can pour just kerosene or oil so that it will form a layer so that larva cannot survive in that area. And next one is we can release certain fishes which will feed separately or especially on this larva of mosquito called as gambusia fish. Like that we can take certain important steps related to this larva. And apart from that, we can control the mosquitoes. For example, we can go for certain Ayurvedic products, or we can advise the people to use simple mosquito nets. Government can give this mosquito nets on free of cost for these people who are susceptible or vulnerable for this malaria areas. So like that, if you're taking small steps, we can bring a great change in the lives of the people. And next one is, especially in states like Tamil Nadu, we have to go for targeted surveillance among migrants and larval control as well. Okay, that is the thing which mainly said, guys. And let us see the next article. Title says, what lies behind Trump's Greenland moves? Actually, Trump made lots of statements in different areas that Trump wants to acquire this Greenland. Okay, this is not for the first time Trump made this kind of statement. Trump, in his first time presidency also, he made statements that yes, I want to acquire this Greenland. And again, this Trump 2.0 era, again he started that he wants to acquire, and he made certain negative statements also relating to this Greenland. So now let us try to understand why Trump wants to occupy this Greenland. And this is the one of the interview question which mainly asked by one retired IFS officer to one of the student yesterday itself. And today I can see in detail analysis of this reason why Trump wants to acquire this Greenland. What is the reason behind it? So if you see the reasons, the first one here is for strategic military interest. Greenland position in this Arctic region provides advantages to US defense, especially they can install missile warning systems, and as well as they can have Tulu missile warning system at this Tulu air base, so that they can counter Russian and as well as Chinese expansion in this Arctic region. That is the first thing. And next one here is Greenland is having good resources. Okay, Greenland has potential of resources like rare earth metals, oil, gases that will become more accessible due to this climate change. And next one here is geopolitical competition is also increasing, especially to counter this Chinese investments in this Greenland and as well as Russia's military buildup in this Arctic region. Trump wants to acquire this Greenland. And next one is legacy building. Trump sees acquiring Greenland is a historic territorial expansion, and he wants to expand its territory. And next one here is national security issues. And apart from this, what is happening here is melting of ice is happening at a very faster rate due to climate change. So because of this, if Trump acquires this Greenland, he can increase his shipping routes and he can go for resource extraction, and that will give boost for American economy as well. So because of these reasons, Trump wants to acquire this Greenland. Okay, now let us see the next article. Say this article, guys. Seismometers can sense falling orbital debris. As you all know that in our solar system we have sun. Around the sun planets will move, and around these planets we have satellites. Apart from the satellites, we have debris, like we have rock, we have ice particles, for example comets, asteroids, etc. And many a times we see that this meteor shower, some particles from the space are coming and going to fall on the earth's surface, like that, right? So here this article is saying that this seismometers, they can identify the falling of orbits, they can sense the falling of orbits from the space, from this objects from the space. So here in this context, you may get a question regarding the seismometer. Seismometer is nothing but it is a device which mainly detects ground motion based on if there is any particle which is placed on the earth's surface. If it is not moving, if it is static, it is having inertia. So if it is moving, means what happened, they can generate certain kinds of vibrations. So because of these vibrations, electricity is generated. This electricity had been recorded by the seismometers. For example, which is a device that we can use to identify the earthquakes, that is seismometers. Again, we can identify P waves and as well as S waves, right? We can record the three-dimensional motions. So here, apart from this earthquake monitoring, we can use the seismometers for detecting of nuclear explosions. If you're doing any bomb testing, we can use the seismometers, and as well as volcanic eruptions, landslides, ocean waves, and even we can identify human activities like heavy traffic, stadium crowds. Everything can be identified by using the seismometers. Clear? You may get a question regarding the seismometers applications. And now let us see the next article. Title says a natural heater hidden in India's sacred lotus flowers. So here you have to know about one concept called as thermogenesis. Thermogenesis is nothing but the living things, they create their own body heat. For example, animals, humans, we are warm-blooded. Why we are warm-blooded? We can generate heat. How we are generating heat? In our body, we have basic structure and functional unit that is called as cell. In that cell, we have different organelles. We have mitochondria, right? Mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. This powerhouse of the cell, what it will does is, it will generate energy in the form of ATP. And it remains, the remaining escapes as heat. Whenever the process of generation of ATP or nothing but the energy, ATP is produced, and remaining energy will be released in the form of heat, so that we can maintain our body temperature. And as of now, we believe that animals and as well as humans, they can have this thermoregulation. But this article is saying that this lotus, sacred lotus flower in India, it is also known for this thermoregulation. If you see this flower of this lotus, here you can see yellowish part in the middle, right? In this yellowish part, we have this eggs. This is called as ovary, and that we have eggs, right? So actually, whenever the flower is blooming, whenever the flower petals are turning into this pink color, it has to maintain temperature of 30 to 35 degrees centigrade. Okay, that's the thing which mainly said here. And here you have to see certain facts here. The first important fact here is sacred lotus plant scientific name is Neelambo nucifera, and it is seen in north and as well as central India, and it is commonly grown in ponds, lakes and gently flowing waters, and flowering begins in early summers at mild ambient temperature. Okay, and flower blooms for 3 to 4 days. At that time, the temperature will be around 30 to 35 degrees at this yellow part of this flower. That's the thing which mainly said, nothing more than that. Just remember about this lotus and just remember about this concept of thermogenesis. And now let us see the next article, and it's the last article of the day. Title says water intensive. So this article is talking about rice. Actually, many a times UPSC asked directly question related to this water intensive crops in India. So major water intensive crops in India is rice and as well as sugarcane. And if you're from Punjab and Haryana, you have to know that groundwater depletion is happening because of this rice cultivation. It is a one negative impact of green revolution. Okay, and many a times you may get interview question on that as well. So here this article is saying that why we need to maintain water. If you have seen this paddy fields, we can see that we have to maintain a certain level of water. Without water, we can't grow this rice. So why we have to maintain that water? So that is the thing which mainly given here. So many of them who are from agriculture background, you may get a question related to this regarding why we have to maintain water in the paddy fields. Okay, if your DAF is showing that your father is a farmer, or if your mother is a farmer, if you are having agriculture land and if you are growing this rice, you may get this kind of questions. So if you see this article, it is saying that yes, rice is very important crop and it is a staple food of southern people in our country, and it is a water intensive crop. And why we have to maintain water in this rice fields is, first one here is, we can create stable conditions for nutrient availability. To maintain nutrients availability in the field, we have to maintain water. And next one here is for weed suppression. Normally if you are growing any crop, we can see weed will grow at a very fast rate. So if weeds are growing means they will take the nutrients, and finally that will lead to crop failure. So here if you want to suppress the weeds, we need to maintain massive water. And next one here is in this rice, there will be a very faster rate of, if you have seen that rice leaf, it is very thin, and always the stomata is open, so the transpiration, evaporation will be happening at a very faster rate. So that we need to maintain water, so that there will be proper availability of water loss. We can compensate that water loss clearly. And next important one here is rice plant lose water through transpiration as stomata open to absorb this carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. So this process exacerbated in rice because stomata must stay open longer. In this rice plants, the problem here is they have to open the stomata for the long periods compared to other plants. Because of this, the water loss can happen more. And next one here is for proper C3 and C4 cycles. Yes, we need to ensure that there will be the enough water supply. And next one here is, even this rice plants, they had been adapted to this anaerobic conditions. Especially they are going to have specialized air channels that transport oxygen from the shoots to roots. This adaptation evolved because of this waterlogged environments, and because of this environments, yes, water is compulsory for the rice to grow. Okay, these are the things that you have to remember. And now let us see the prelims practice questions. I gave 3 questions. And the first question is, with reference to rice cultivation, water use, consider the following statements. First one is, rice is grown under continuous flooding primarily to suppress weeds and make nutrients like iron and phosphorus more available. And this one is, as a C3 plant, rice has lower water use efficiency in hot climates compared to that of C4 plants like maize. And this one is, the major water losses in paddy fields occur through transpiration only. Evaporation, percolation are negligible. Air and chyma tissue in rice allows oxygen transport from shoots to roots, enabling survival in anaerobic flooded conditions. You have to tell me the answer. Actually, in this question, first and fourth is compulsory, right? So pick up the answer related to that. Okay. Now let us see the next question. It is assertion based question. In assertion says India's national framework for malaria elimination targets zero indigenous malaria cases by 2030. Next one, Plasmodium vivax, which causes the majority of cases in India, has a relapsing nature due to hypnozoites in the liver, making radical cure more challenging. Tell me the answer. And next one is consider the following statements about Donald Trump interest in acquiring Greenland. You may get for sure question related to this Greenland this year. You have to focus on that much. Okay, the statements given here are, the first one is Greenland hosts US Thule Air Base, which is critical for missile warning and space surveillance. One of the key motivations cited in access to untapped rare earth minerals and potential new Arctic shipping routes due to melting ice. Third one, Denmark has agreed in principle to sell Greenland to United States for strategic reasons. And fourth one is the renewed interest in 2025 to 2026 is partly driven by competition with China and Russia in Arctic region. So try to say your answers in the comment box. Don't miss this, guys. And by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this video and share this video. And if you want to start your UPSC preparation, you can join our GS Prelims Cum Mains Foundation course, and the new batch is going to be started within 1 week. Admissions are going on, guys, and if you have any queries, please do contact us on this number 8074765513. And if you want to visit academy, you can visit our academy, which is located in Ashok Nagar, exactly above Vikas Book Center. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.